So the assumption is that you exist, that you're somebody, a separate entity that's inside the body, that you're a soul, that you're somebody that's looking out at this world. And this is what creates suffering, this idea that you are separate, that you're somebody experiencing life. Whereas in actuality, who you are is this moment, is what's happening right here, right now, in this moment. And that also means that there is nobody that's doing your life. There's nobody that's acting your life. There is no doer inside of these bodies. So in every moment there is thoughts, there's feelings, there's impulses arising, but there isn't actually somebody that's doing that. It's a happening. It's a happening. But for no one, there isn't actually someone that's there. There is simply this happening. This is it, baby. Talk done. This is it. But even that can become a new dogma. It become a new religion of there is no I. I'm not an I walking around in this body. I'm not anybody. There is no doer. Even that can become something for you. Tony Parsons says, if you leave this room with something, then you've completely misunderstood what the talk's about. Like it's also all conceptual. So then if we just point directly back to the experience, like what is happening now? Like what is happening before what you tell yourself is happening? So you're telling yourself, I'm sitting here listening to Lisa and I like it or I don't like it. There is a blue and pink screen. There is light. There is a window. I am hungry. Whatever it is that you're telling yourself. And what else is there? So you're so focused on the stories that you're telling yourself. Maybe you're grumbling about someone at work. They did this today, or they did that today, or who do they think they are? Tomorrow I'm going to say this to them. And then once I said this to them, I'm going to say that to them. And so that is so close, it feels like that's who you are. So you have this image of yourself. So when you're saying, I'm going to say that to them, you kind of like feel like this person, and then you have this image of this person and this image of this person saying that. But notice that there's something else that's here, that's not a dogma, that's not about no I or this I or that I or Christianity or Hinduism or Buddhism. There is just something experiencing itself freely. And it's so free. And that's who you are. And it's not containable. It's not something I can teach you verbally. You can't understand this. But yet, miraculously, you are it. And everywhere you go, everything you look at reflects that back. But for the human, they're so interested in their story of themselves and the thoughts of themselves and the emotions of themselves that that's where their world is. Their world is in this waking dream. It's not really in what's happening in the windows, in the light, in the room, and it's not in the consciousness, but it's in this realm of what you think about life and what you think about yourself and what you think about this or what you think about that. It's in this halfway house. So what else is there? And you'll notice that everything is here. And there's also this looking, this experiencing, and this sense of existence, the you are. And this is your home. This is like the flag in the middle of the moon, at this still place. Where everything around it's moving, everything around it's coming and going, but this still flag of you, it never changes. There is always everything, and there is always this looking. And this sense of existence. And the person's pulled into what it thinks or what it feels, and then pulled into trying to create a better future with better feelings and better experiences. And it's like on this path to betterdom. Where are you off to? Betterdom. What do you want to better? Everything. Everything. But it can never arrive because you're always imagining yourself on the path, and you're imagining where you've come from, and you're imagining where you're going to. So you never arrive. It's always frustrating. And your arrival is prior to the person or beyond the person. It's right here in this. It's so simple, this message. It's so simple what's being talked about that it's overlooked by the mind. The mind wants to make it into something really complex. And when I do talks, people ask me things that bend my mind up and down. Not so much anymore. After doing it for 9 years, you kind of get used to it. But in the beginning, I'd be like, you what? Come again? Encore? So how do you get to this? So the mind is like, oh, okay, so this is it. This is what I'm looking for. So how do I, the person, arrive at this? How does that happen? How do I get on the boat to here, to this moment? The train to this moment? Boop, boop. And that's the really impossible thing and the really unlikable thing about non-duality. What people don't want to hear is that you don't arrive here. You can never arrive here, no matter what you do, no matter how many times you run around the moon, you're always here. No matter how many times you climb Arunachala, how many prostrations you do, how many times you go to India, how many times you see gurus or sit in satsang, you can't make this happen. You can't ever arrive here because you are here. You are this. It's not yours on the human level to grab hold of. You on the human level is appearing in that which you are. But it's funny how these words become like rhetoric, like repeated again and again. Like I've said this so many times, and it becomes undeep when it's really, really deep what's being said. Like it's really profound, but like I can hear the seekers, not you guys, but seekers in general that aren't you in particular. But I can hear people saying, yeah, but. Now I've got to do nothing. That's the goal, is that I've got to do nothing. I've got to look for nothing. Do nothing. Seek for nothing. Want nothing. I've got to put my attention in the I am. I've got to put my attention in consciousness and stay right there. What you can seem to do, even though this isn't a prescription, this is a description of something that can happen, is putting your attention in to the I am or to consciousness, and also becoming aware of what you feel. And all of this is on the human level. It's not going to lead you to non-duality, but what it's going to do is relax the person. And then it opens up space for non-duality to be heard. Like when you're really suffering and contracted and tight, how can you hear that this is it? So that's something that can happen. But again, it's not a prescription, because who would do it? Who would have put their attention in the I am? Who would investigate their emotions? Like see that either happens or it doesn't. Thoughts and impulses appear for that to happen or not.